Usually we always talk about marketing, i.e. how do we get more leads, make the phone ring, form fills. Today we want to talk about what actually happens after those leads start to come in, the intake process. It is something that is so critical but not talked about enough. It's not just about making the phone ring, it's turning those into clients. What good is any investment into SEO or PPC, local marketing, if you're only signing 30-40% of those calls or leads? You could spend so much on marketing but barely see a return or a significantly diminishing return as you try to scale exponentially. So there are two key things we look at when it comes to intake and driving your intake process from one that signs 20 to 30% to 60, 70, 80+% of those good quality leads. The first pillar is speed. How fast do you respond? When someone is in an accident or dealing with a stressful situation like a divorce and wants to speak to an attorney now, if you wait 4 or 5 minutes, more than half of those leads, they're calling the next firm. Speed to lead is everything. The second is quality. Why should they pick your firm? Most people in a serious life event, like a catastrophic injury, facing bankruptcy, divorce, whatever it is, in need of legal services, they might not just be calling one firm. So why yours? It's not just as simple as, yes, we offer legal services. It's actually not a commodity as much as people talk about it in that way. Your ability to sell yourself, why your firm is unique, is huge when it comes to increasing that conversion rate. If you're getting thousands of calls per month and all of a sudden you're converting 20% more throughout the year, we're talking about huge volume increases, revenue increases to your firm. This is the fastest, most surefire way to grow your firm is nail intake. So before we break down how to build a optimal intake process that signs a high percentage of those good quality leads, quick intro. I'm Jake Soffer, CEO of Firm Pilot, and really simple, we're not an intake company, but we use AI to get our clients more leads through AI-powered SEO, PPC, social, Google Business Profile marketing. So while we're not an intake company, we see tens of thousands of leads on a monthly, quarterly basis now coming into all of our clients. So we're seeing those phone calls, we're seeing those form fills, we're seeing what works and what doesn't. The difference between a 20% close rate and a 70 to 85% close rate. So here are the 6 best intake strategies that we see to help turn a firm into a low-end sign-up firm to a high-end one. Number 1, have your phones covered. It sounds so simple, but you wouldn't believe the amount of firms that miss calls. And any single call could be a huge case or client that turns into something big and then refers more down the line. It's a game of inches. We cannot be missing calls. It's such a unforced error. Ideally, that phone needs to be answered in under 12 seconds. We love under 5 seconds, but under 12 is acceptable. If you don't have someone that can be at the phone at all times during your operating hours, people have to eat lunch, people have to go to the bathroom. There are so many good services out there. We actually just announced a partnership with Lex Reception. We're really excited. They offer a great platform for firms where you can outsource your entire intake or just a small part of it during lunch breaks, out of business hours, weekends, whatever it is. So there's someone always answering the phone and can speak intelligently to your potential clients. So have your phones covered at all times. Item number 2, track your process. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to go fix my intake. Intake is a huge thing. Response time per channel, whether it's a form fill, a phone call, time to intake completion, lead fit or wanted rate per channel. What's the sign up rate? You need to be documenting this. Tons of these intake systems and case management systems like Clio and Filevine, in my case, they have this reporting built in. If you don't, a simple Excel sheet is fine. Whoever's answering that phone, have them filling out the sign up rate, where the lead came from. It's all in CallRail. You should have call tracking there. If you don't, that's an even bigger problem. Get that set up and be tracking those numbers. And it's not just so we can see that they're getting better and better and better, but it's where we know to invest time. If your people are answering the phones within 6 seconds, we know speed is not the problem. If sign up rate is low, we can start to narrow down what needs to be fixed. Maybe it's their answering script. Maybe it's the tone. Maybe it's the ability to answer questions that potential clients have, and you need to have an FAQ documented for your intake team to be able to answer questions intelligently. At least we can start to pinpoint where to turn our attention rather than just saying, let's fix everything, because there's so much that goes into intake. So it starts with tracking so we know where are the leaks. Number 3 follows off of number 2. Set goals. Even increasing sign-up rates, the time to answer calls, the time to follow up on form fill leads by inches, we're moving in the right direction. action. And you have to think about economies of scale. It's not just about getting that one case. It's if we're getting 10 leads a day times 30 days a month, all of a sudden 300 leads times 12 months. You change things a few percentage points, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in saved cost or increased revenue. So set goals that are actually achievable, not in saying, hey, I'm gonna double my sign-up rate. Maybe down the line, absolutely, but just small goals. Nailing intake really is just a game of inches, and progress compounds. Just every day, every week, every month, just make small improvements over and over and over, and it pays dividends tremendously. Number 4, and this is my favorite, having an analytical background, is analyze your funnel. Meaning literally get a whiteboard, get a piece of paper, it can be so simple, and map out the exact process the moment that phone rings. How long does it take to respond? What are the possible questions that come up? What happens after they get off the phone? Almost like a flow chart of if client says, yes, I'm ready to sign. If it's an unqualified lead, if they say, great, I need more time to think about it. Map out that entire process. And now back to number 3, you can actually start to track your sign-up rate based on the different paths in that funnel. So that way you're not trying to, again, fix everything, but you know, hey, if someone fills out a form and they're not ready to sign, our sign-up rate is so much lower. We have to focus on this specific intake process because it's not just one intake process for all of your potential leads. There's so many different ones. People that are using your web chat, your email, people that want to do an in-person meeting. If you can see your sign-up rate through all these different flows and paths, you know, hey, we are losing 200 leads a year through this path. Let's focus on that. Don't waste time and energy focusing on the low-hanging fruit, the ones that you know you sign 90% of the time. Number 5, train, train, train again. If you see those leaks, whether it's speed, whether it's the script, being able to answer questions, follow-ups, whatever it is, it's not as simple as just telling whoever your intake team is, whether it's outsourced or insourced, hey, here's the new process printed out on a piece of paper, do it. You need to have an expectation that your first attempted fix probably isn't going to work. Just because you change a script doesn't mean that sign-up rates are gonna go up. Maybe they go up 1%, but then how do we improve it more and more and more? Or maybe it goes down. You have to be okay that your first attempted fix may actually be worse. Great. We found one thing that doesn't improve it, on to the next. And it's just about trial and error and brute force until you find those levers that take you to that 65, 70, 75, 80% plus sign up rate. So just don't one try and go, okay, I did it. I attempted to fix my intake. It is a process that never ends. You're always refining it. Strategy 6, and this is a bit of a bonus, my personal favorite, is make your intake process multi-step. You can be absolutely elite, dangerous against your competitors that answer the phone, say, this is who we are. If that client's not ready to sign, and just waiting for that callback or one follow-up call. Be multi-step, text, email. Once, of course, compliance is met, they opt into receiving messages and you have that, use that. Follow-up calls, send them an email, send them a text, provide more information and not just a newsletter. If you are documenting what they said in that call, there's a reason you're saving those notes. It's so you can use it to help convert that individual lead. So whoever your intake team is, they're not just inbound. Think of them as outbound. Once someone has given the thumbs up that you can contact them and be prescriptive based on what they told you in that first call. Hey, I'm following up on your back injury. How is it? Communicate as a human being, conversion rates go up. It's just natural psychology that people want to work with good people. So overall, you're spending money on ads, SEO, whatever it is to get those leads. You need to be signing them. If your intake is broken, you're just funding your competitors' growth. The math is simple. Fix intake, and it's the fastest, cheapest way to get more cases. Those leads are already coming to you. Sign them. Implement these 6 strategies. And if you want to see more about them, you can actually go to our website. We post a whole bunch of documentation and more videos about how to nail these and do these right. Templates and bigger descriptions, firmpilot.com. Ton more to learn there. Thanks. Bye.